You want to run it back?
Yeah, let's do that.
It is the top of the hour on SportsCenter with Michael Eaves, Kevin Connors. The Knicks and Jalen Brunson and what they've done this season has been remarkable. But here in the postseason, Brunson goes down with an injury, and yet they still find a way.
Yes, and if you look at how he's played this postseason, you could say he's the MVP of the playoffs right now. That's how well he's played, and that's how his team responds to him. Of course, when you think of Knicks Pacers, you think of those two guys, right? Going back to the 90s, Reggie Miller, Spike Lee, having some fun courtside. But keep your eye on Brunson. Slams into the defender, and he's either holding his wrist or holding something else more sensitive. But meanwhile, Isaiah Hartenstein gets to the rack for the layup. But again, still in pain at the other end. About 4 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Knicks are up 8. Brunson pulls up for 3, makes an 11-point game. All right, so things are going well until we see this. Brunson limping, it seems. Something's not right as Obi Toppin drains the corner 3, and then he motions to the bench, hey, y'all gotta come get me. I need to come out of the game. So take another look. Just, he's out there, but he ain't moving right. So he goes to the bench. He would not return for the rest of the first half. Said it was a right foot issue, and he was questionable to return. So if you're Indiana, what do you do when the heart and soul of the other team is in the locker room? You take advantage. Tyrese Halliburton knocks down the 3. He had 13 points in the first quarter. His most points in a quarter this postseason. The game was tied at 36 going to the second. About 5 minutes to go in the first half. Miles Turner with the cut down the lane for the finish. Pacers with a 5-point lead. And then here, Halliburton, another 3. Pacers were up 10 at the break. The Knicks were +7 in the first half when Brunson was on the court, -17 without him. So for New York and their fans, the question was, could Brunson return? Well, he came out on the court during halftime, starts to warm up, took some shots, and it seems like he was going to be good to go. In fact, he was good to go, and he was actually better than good. Knicks are down 5. Brunson drives and 1. He would make the free throw. Knicks on a 7-0 run. Now they're down just 2, and that run would continue. Josh Hart. Another good feed from Hartenstein. 9-0 run. That ties the game 79-all. Next possession for New York. Hart. OG Anunoby, 3-ball corner pocket. Good. 12-0 run. New York has the lead, and the Garden is going crazy. Next possession, Hart. Dante DiVincenzo just lurking on that baseline. 14-0 run gave New York a 5-point lead. Pacers respond, though. Cut it down to 7. But Hart with the block. Transition going the other way. Anunoby loses it on the way up, but guess who's there? DiVincenzo. He's always there. But watch Anunoby, because he is shaken up. He would leave the game with a hamstring injury and would not return. That was 3:27 to go in the third. Knicks were up 8 going to the fourth. Brunson. They picked him up at full court, but no one ever stopped him from getting to the rack. Another and 1. He would make the free throw. New York's up 5. About 4.5 to go. It's a 2-point game now. DiVincenzo. It's the Nova Bros getting it done for New York once again. Brunson here, the miss. Rebounded by DiVincenzo to Precious Achiuwa. Knicks up 7. Brunson working from the foul line. Come on. Come on. That spin into that jumper, too sick. DiVincenzo. Man, it was a balanced effort from the Knicks. It wasn't just Brunson because he was out, so someone had to pick up the load. Hart did it, DiVincenzo did it, Anunoby did it. And then here, Hartenstein brings it up. Called for a double dribble, but did he commit a double dribble? Russ would talk it over, change the call. Rick Carlisle's like, what are you talking about? So the Knicks are up 6. Brunson, floater. Rick Carlisle got called for 2 techs down the stretch. He was ejected. But Spike Lee, he's fired up. 130-121, that's the score. 2-0 series lead. Look, Danny, you don't have to be a Knicks fan to know that New York is a different team when Brunson's on the floor and when he's not. However, for the Pacers, they were up 10. Third quarter, Brunson comes back in there, and it totally changed the dynamic of the game. What happened in that third quarter where the Knicks could re-grab that lead from the Pacers?
Well, they were re-energized as soon as Brunson got to the court, but they turned them over. Indiana had a lot of turnovers that were inexcusable, and they slowed down. Tyrese Halliburton was less aggressive. He came out very, very aggressive in the first half. First quarter, had like 18 to 20 in the first half. Second quarter, third quarter anyway, he only had like 2 points in that third quarter. They need more from him. They need him to continue to be aggressive. They need T.J. McConnell to stay on the floor. They also need more out of Miles Turner. But New York, they just had an energy about them. As soon as he came on the floor, they were just super energized, played better defense, made stops, won a 14-0 run. Before you know it, they're up 6. They won that quarter by 18 or so. They won that quarter by 18, which was the game for them. Indiana, they lost by 9. Realistically, without the 2 technical free throws from Rick Carlisle, they lost by 7. But to lose the third quarter by 18 is unacceptable.
Look, Danny, you played with some great players in your career, and you guarded some great players in your career. You talked about how the Knicks were re-energized when Brunson came back on the floor. Besides what great players do or players on a great run in terms of the stats, what is it about how they play that can be so infectious for their teammates, especially when it comes to the postseason?
Just their leadership, man. And he brings a calm, cool presence to that group, and they just have more confidence when he's on the floor. As you can see, he wasn't on the ball a lot when he came back, but everybody else was just in a really good flow. They made shots. They made the right plays. And then eventually he got it going. But for him to score 30 points in a game that he missed the whole first half of is unbelievable, because he could have had another 40 ball if he wanted to. But he had 29 in that second half, about 25 of them in the second. I think he had 5 points in the first half, 24 in the second half. And he was just going, man. And they believed in him. He trusted his teammates. They made the right plays. And when it came down to it, he said he put them on their back and made the big shots.
It's interesting how comfort can lead to confidence, and for other players, with Brunson just being on the floor, you see that comfort level with those guys because he's going to make some plays and enables them to make plays as well. But let's flip it to the Pacers real quickly, because you go back to Game 1 or even here in Game 2, there were moments where you thought the Pacers could have won the game or maybe even should have won one of these 2 games. Now they go home, though. They're down 0-2 for these next 2 games. What have you seen from them that should give Pacer fans a little bit of calm to say, you know what, it's down 0-2, but we are cool once we get home?
Well, we hate to see guys get injured, man, but the fact that the Knicks are banged up gives them some light. OG Anunoby going down with that hamstring. I don't know where he's at. I know the Knicks are concerned, but the Indiana Pacers know that they have more bodies, more depth, and at the pace that they're playing at. Tonight's pace was unbelievable. They played in the 120s, 130s, which is more in favor of Indiana than it is the Knicks. I didn't think the Knicks would be able to keep up, especially with Brunson being out, to be able at that scoring pace. Halliburton came out extremely aggressive. T.J. McConnell, with them 2 on the floor, they really dictated the pace, got to the paint, made plays for others, and other guys knocked down shots. Like I said, they need a little bit more from Miles Turner. Obi Toppin has to continue to do what he does, Nesmith. But if they continue to play like that, and the Knicks has said they're going to get fatigued and tired with the low bodies that they have, I could see Indiana, even this series up at home.
Hey, look, I've said it before. When the Knicks are playing well in the playoffs, there's no better venue in sports than Madison Square Garden. But I think a lot of people of a certain age are going to find out how crazy the crowds can be there in Indiana when they're in the postseason believing they have a chance to win. It goes back to Reggie Miller days, but, Danny, that crowd is going to be exciting for Game 3.
Sure.
Looking forward to seeing that. DG, appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
There were 29 plays in Game 1 that we thought were clearly called the wrong way. I decided not to submit them because I just felt like we'd get a more balanced whistle tonight. It didn't feel that way. Couple examples. 5:08 of the third. The whole world knows that Halliburton's got a bad back, and Hart comes up and shoves him in the back, and it's all over Twitter right now because a few people have showed it to me. And JB DeRosa's looking right at it. You can see him. He's got vision of the play, and he shoves Ty right into the corner, and there's no whistle, right in the back. And so that was shocking, and there are many others, but I can promise you that we're going to submit these tonight. New York can get ready. They'll see them too. You know, I'm always talking to our guys about not making it about the officials, but you know, we deserve a fair shot, you know, and it's just not. There's not a consistent balance, and that's disappointing. So, give New York credit for the physicality that they're playing with. But you know, their physicality is rewarded and ours is penalized, just, you know, time after time. And so, you know, I'm just really disappointed. Just really disappointed. The two technicals, you know, you gotta make a stand for your guys. You know, you gotta stand up for what's right and what's not right, and that was it. And so, we need to get home. We need to play better. Go ahead.
What was the referee's explanation when they overturned the call late in the fourth quarter on the whistle?
You know, one guy just said he didn't double dribble, but it looked to me like, you know, Tibbs went out there and argued it, and they changed it. That's what it looked like. You know, so I can only go by what I see, what I saw, and you know, that's small beans compared to everything else. You know, but you know, small market teams deserve an equal shot. They deserve a fair shot, no matter where they're playing.
All right, so I mentioned how it was a full team effort by the Knicks, especially when Brunson was in the locker room. Brunson, Anunoby, DiVincenzo all scored 25 or more in this game. Second Knicks trio in history to have 25 or more in a playoff game. Other instance, 1970, they did it against the Bucks, Dick Barnett, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed.
When it was time to hit a big shot, you hit it. When it was time to make a big play, you made it. We didn't know if you were going to come out here in the second half after sitting out the second quarter with that foot injury. Was there any doubt that you were going to be able to return?
I'm just happy I did. I'll be honest with you. We found the way. That's it.
Jalen, I know you. You're pretty even keel. You don't show too much emotions. That third quarter, you and T.J. McConnell get into it. Competitiveness right there, but we saw a fireness from you that we don't see too much. What started that? What impacted that?
Competing against T.J., man, it's something. I got a lot of respect, a lot of love for him, and I mean, we're both competing, and so that's that, and I respect the hell out of him. Really, that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Jalen, your team is resilient. You guys, offensive rebounds, get the 50-50 balls. Josh Hart, Dante, the list goes on and on. How are you guys able to just fight like that and claw and always seem to get the best of your opponent?
I mean, we just find ways. I think for us, it just starts with our habits. And we talked about doing the little things since day one. And so the little things matter, and you never know when they're going to help you in a big game. You never know when and which game. So it's all about doing little things every single day, and I think we pride ourselves on that.
Ready for Indiana?
I'm going to try to be.
So again, Jalen Brunson out for extended part of this game. But when he was out there, completely different situation for New York. They shot 60% from the field to just 33% by Indiana. Even more, New York outscored Indiana by nearly 30 points.